Okay, we're live, John. I think should be good to go. Yeah, it's good to have you on, John, man. Yeah, it's been a while. You're a wealth of knowledge and information and personal development and e-commerce. Like the list just goes on, man. So yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks.
You know,
Thanks. Good to see you.
yeah, yeah.
Last time we interviewed was at the beach.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think we did we?
No, we never did we?
No, that is the funny thing about that. I was thinking a lot about that since I asked you to come on here. Maybe we can talk about it because I was so new to everything at that point. I was thinking about it the other day, and if somebody said to me they're going to jack their job in, hey John, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I thought it hung out. If somebody said to me now what I did when I came over to you, I'd be like, man, you are crazy. Don't even do it. I jacked my job in. I had no experience at all online. I was making no money at all. And I came over to you to do that interview. Two interviews. The first interview on Skype went wrong. And then I had the brainwave of following you around for a week with a camera, and we never ended up even doing that. I just ended up interviewing all the other people. But like I say, if somebody said to me, "Oh, I'm going to jack my job in. I've got no experience online, and I'm not making any money online. I'm going to jack in my job and go full time online," I'd say, "Whoa, man, that's a crazy thing to do."
So what's jacking your job mean?
Well, I quit my job, didn't I?
Oh, quit. Okay, good. Now I know that.
Yeah. I quit my 10 years. I'd been in that job. I trained to be a cabinet maker, furniture maker, and a sprayer. Like we were like one of the best cabinet makers in England or in the world. We worked for the Queen and all the richest people in the world. And I just blew that off to become a marketer. Like I say, with no experience, and I don't know how I've made it, but somehow, I survived. It's like 7 years now of full-time online. But like I say, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, don't even go there.
Yeah. So a couple things about that. One, I remember that I kind of even went next level and said, "Hey, I'm going to NAMS. Do you want to come?"
Yeah.
And that opened up a whole nother world for you. But really, man, I remember that I made a post on Facebook and I said something like, let me know what I can do for you. I like to give back. And you wrote me right away on Messenger and said, "Hey, here's what you can do. You can do this interview for me."
Yeah.
And so look, man, it took guts. It took guts from you. You got on a plane, you flew here. I picked you up at the airport, I think. And no,
it's at the train station.
Oh yeah, that's right. The train station, and in Deerfield, I think. And but it took a lot of guts on your part to get on a plane and do it. And listen, you got in front of me and Tom Beal and Matt Basak, and I can't even imagine how many other, but just that three right there. I'm not even putting myself in anybody else's league, but you got recognized. All of a sudden, you can parlay that stuff.
Yeah, well, now I realize because people were saying to me, I've got a bit of an echo going on here, John. People were saying, "Man, I love your story and all this," and now I know why, because it was just so nuts. But to be honest, John, that I was so. And Sean Wonder, remember I interviewed him?
Yeah.
You put that post out into the South Florida group. And I remember he messaged me. I was in that hotel room and he messaged me. And I said to him, I'll let you know about the interview, and I thought I'm going to Google this guy. And I Googled him and I realized that he worked in Hollywood and he did all that film stuff and everything. And I thought, man, this guy's going to think I'm absolutely nuts. I was recording my audio on a phone. I had the old camera that would only record 12 minutes. And then he FaceTimed me and I thought, oh man, what am I going to do? So I thought, I'm just going to be honest with this guy. And I explained to him the whole situation and he was just so nice to me. It was unbelievable. Yeah, but man, what an experience and what a start to marketing. And that's another thing I wanted to talk to you today about, because my big idea, because you had that massive interview with, who was the guy who interviewed you on the Warrior Forum?
David Eisner.
Yeah. And that was the biggest ever interview on the Warrior Forum, which is where I was thinking, I was completely new. Like I say, I was thinking this is going to be the best thing ever. Filming John Cornetta, the most famous interview ever on the Warrior Forum. And I forgot what I was going to say now. I forgot what I was going to say, but that was it. Yeah. And I got to you, and like, it looked like you weren't really doing anything. Like, this was like, maybe you had a lot of stuff going on in the background, but from my point of view, you got up in the morning, you launched five t-shirt campaigns back in the easy days when it was like, just launch the ads, run a $20 ad for 24 hours, and then look at it the next day and either kill it or carry it on. And like that, like, you just looked like you were just kicking back by the swimming pool. Like, you get up in the morning, do five new t-shirts, and that was it for the rest of the day. And I was thinking, I'm going to be following you around with a camera with all this inside information and stuff like that. And it was just like, man, this guy's just taking it easy. Like, you know, I had a totally different perspective of it all. Like, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I want to talk to you about those early days of t-shirts and stuff like that, because like, things have changed a lot, man, since then. Because that was like back with Don Wilson. Like, he was the first
before even Don. Yeah, it was Teespring, right?
Yeah.
And I remember, I don't know how that came across my desk, but at the time, everything that I was doing was with Frank Salinas, pretty much.
Got you.
And at some point, well, when I first came online, I met Frank Salinas, and he was a big marketer. You know, if I was nothing, and I remember contacting him and asking if he would do an ad swap with me, and he said yes. And the first person before that was a guy named Craig Raphael, which I don't even know if he's even around the business anymore. He was actually the first person I ever did an ad swap with, and I was freaked out by it. Took me like 3 months to prepare for it, which should have took, like an hour. Yeah. And it did. It took me 3 months. But anyway, Frank and I had done a lot of business, and we said, let's try this t-shirt thing. And I remember we had unlucky number 13. We had 13 campaigns in a row. Our first 13 campaigns, we didn't sell one shirt. And we were just like, this is a joke. We didn't know what we were doing. And then we had one that, I don't know, sold like 4 or 5. And then I remember Frank was kind of just, I don't know, he was upset about something or something. He's like, let's just go our own way and do it on our own. That's fine, And then the next one I launched, I sold like 30 shirts. That's a big sale, especially because in those days on Teespring, if you didn't sell 10, it didn't get printed. You had to refund everyone their money. Yeah. It was either 10 or 12. And I mean, it was, thinking back how awful and stupid that was, that you had to refund everyone their money. And I would actually, if we sold like 8, I would actually buy 2 shirts myself because the math made sense. You'd make profit. Yeah. And I started getting really good at it and realizing what people wanted. And I actually had a shirt. I had one shirt that I got to check back then in the numbers, but I sold over 1,000 of those shirts. Yeah. And it was just one design. And then I was able to change that design just a little bit. And it was a shirt you've seen it. And it said, so there's this boy, he kind of stole my heart. He calls me mommy.
I know it well. Yeah. Yeah.
And the heart was a baseball or football or whatever. And I sold so many of those that, some of my best memories of selling shirts was I was in the Florida Keys with my wife and my son and my sister and her son and her husband. And we were all down in the Keys just relaxing. And I was doing my shirts, and some reason something happened and campaigns started getting shut down or something like that, or some panic happened. And I closed all the campaigns out that I had going. I closed all of them out on Teespring because I wanted to get my money out. And I cashed out $65,000 that day. Now, I didn't make 65 that day per se, but the campaigns that I closed out, it was 65 grand. And I was just like, wow, this is awesome. And I told everybody, I was out at the pool. It was at like 7 a.m. The sun was coming up. I was drinking coffee and by myself with my laptop in Key Largo. And I'm closing out all these campaigns. And I said, you know what? everyone came out for breakfast about 8 o'clock, and I said, "Hey, pack your bags." They're like, "Yeah, I know, we're leaving." I know, no, we're not leaving. Pack your bags. We're going to Key West, and I'm paying for everybody. And we're going to drive 3 hours today from Key Largo to Key West, and we're going to stay there for 4 more days. I'm paying for everything. And my sister's like, "Oh, you can't do it." I'm like, "Trust me, I can do it." And we left, and because of those shirts, we went down to Key West. We spent like 3 or 4 more days. We had $500 dinners, $200 breakfasts. There's like 6 or 7 of us. My mother was there, and it was a great time.
Yeah. I bet. Yeah. So how long before I came was that?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't. When did you come? What year? What was it?
Oh, I don't know what year it was, John.
Yeah, we'll see. If you don't know, I don't know.
When I came, you were doing firefighter. That was the big one.
I was doing what?
Firefighter shirts. Yeah,
that was after. The firefighter shirt was after, and I did really, really well with that. It's funny. I don't do any of it. I don't. I've done a lot since then, right? I did the sneakers and a lot of other shirts and things like that. A lot of other print on demand. It's funny because I don't do any of it right now. I've stopped because of Groove, right? And developing the platform and stuff. But I love those days. I love those days where you could create something in the morning, and then in the next morning, like people have bought it. It's a weird feeling to wake up, either use a pre-made design or come up with an idea for a design, get somebody to make it, put it out in the world, and they buy it. It's a really good feeling.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Because I remember you telling me how you'd worked out. That was when, like, was it Audience Intercept or something? There was some software, wasn't there? Because you couldn't do it in Facebook where you could do two interests.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I remember you telling me how you had worked out, it was like firefighter and dad, or firefighter, and you worked out there was, like, when you get those two targeting things, that's where the magic was. Like,
yeah, that's right. And you just brought up a good point. You couldn't do that on Facebook, and that was crazy. Looking back, people are like, "What? You couldn't do that on Facebook?" And no, that's right, you couldn't, and you had to have extra software, and all kinds of things, and you were scraping, and we were. Listen, even the name campaigns, I'm not saying that we started it, but me and Frank Salinas were probably the first ones to really exploit it.
Yeah.
And this was before any of the other software that you were involved with and all that other stuff. And we were doing the name campaigns before Facebook ever cared.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
And then, just to be honest, after Facebook cared and started shutting everyone down, I kept going for about a year. Now, there's people that still do it now. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah.
And I'd have to dig into it, but I had a way around it for years. At one time, I had 50 virtual servers.
I remember that.
I had 3 people in Pakistan in an office working for me.
Yeah.
Full-time, scraping names from Facebook.
Yeah.
And made a fortune.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because I still see the odd ad now. It comes up with my surname.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. No. I don't know how they do it, because I know the ways I would get around it, but all those ways got caught. But obviously some people still have a way around. And why Facebook cares about that, I don't even know. But
yeah.
It's not like, it's not like a trademark or something like that.
No, that's it. I think it's to do with privacy and stuff like that, because people are like, how do you know my name? But
right, that's exactly what it was, and people started panicking.
Yeah. So, man, like, fast forward to like today. Like, that's another funny thing as well about when I was with you. We were driving in the car, and you pointed over to you said, "See that house over there?" And it was like some super mansion place or something. You was like, in 4 or 5 years, I don't know the number, you were like, "I'm going to be buying that house." Like, and now you're not in that house, I know, because I asked you the other day, but you're in a pretty sweet spot now. Like, and when I was there, I think just before I heard you talking to Tom Beale, saying you were down to your last 5K. Like, so I know you've smashed it in other industries and that, but you've basically gone from when you started in the t-shirt stuff, being down to your last 5K, to now living in a spectacular house, multi-million-dollar business. Like, what the heck? How, you know, like, real quick, like, how on earth has this happened? Like, what's the story behind how Groove started and how you transitioned from just selling t-shirts to having an entire platform that's just exploded?
Yeah. Listen, so I've always had the ability to think big, and I've built big businesses in the past. So for me, it wasn't like, oh, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And I've also had the ability, I think, to say to myself, you know, hey, I can, you know, this is possible. And when saying that, you can draw on new and greater things. And so, you know, I like to just keep parlaying and parlaying and parlaying, and it's about relationships too. So, you know, here's what happened. Here's a story of Groove. So I was doing e-commerce, and I was doing at the time shirts and sneakers mostly. And I started realizing that the company that I was using was making a lot of money off these sneakers. Like, if I was making, say, $10 or $15 in profit, they were making $10 in profit for doing very little. And, you know, for basically, excuse me, having the software. So I started saying to myself, hey, I'm gonna develop some software to do this. And at the time, I knew another couple of marketers, and they were selling a lot. And they said, well, let's do that together. So we started developing it, and it went to heck. The guys were con men. They tried to take $50,000 from me. They weren't nice guys. I even flew to New York, all this stuff. But the key was I found out who the supplier was to the other company. And it was a Chinese businessman. And in many ways, this is going to sound like your story of getting on a plane and coming to Fort Lauderdale. I reached out to these people, and they didn't want anything to do with me. They were just like, we don't know who you are. Nothing's going to happen. I kept going, I want to meet with the owner. How do I meet with the owner? So they said, well, this was a Wednesday. They said, his secretary or assistant said, listen, he doesn't meet with a lot of people, but he'll be in Queens, New York tomorrow. For the day. He's got a lot of meetings, but if you want to be at this restaurant at 1:00 tomorrow and meet him, he'll meet you. Yeah. And I said, okay, I'll be there. I hung up the phone, went into my bedroom, grabbed a bag, told my wife, I'll be back in 2 days. I'm going to New York. What? I jumped on a plane, was in New York. I was in LaGuardia Airport that night, got in a hotel, woke up. Next morning, I was in the restaurant thinking, this guy's never going to show. And he showed. Yeah. And when he showed, he liked me, I liked him, and made a deal. And when that software started falling through, I get a call from another guy. His name is Frank Boddicker. And Frank was involved a little bit at that time. And he says to me, hey, by the way, you know the guy that you met at that ecom training? We had done a training in Tampa, and his name is Matt Seralta. I said, yeah, I remember him. He says, he wants to talk to you. Can I give him your number? I said, yeah. So Matt calls me up and he says, hey, John. That's my current partner. He says, hey, John. He goes, that whole software thing you were developing, I was doing the development. And those guys haven't paid me. And I told him my story. And he says, wow, I can't believe this happened. And I said, we need to meet. And you live in Atlanta, right? He said, yeah. I said, I'm going to take my family to Atlanta to see my in-law, my wife's sister. I'll come meet you for lunch. And so I did. And we met for lunch, and we hit it off. And he said, let's develop that software. Anyway. So we did. We started developing it, and we were developing that app. And meanwhile, he had this other whole e-com platform that he was starting to build out, and said to me, hey, will you help me with this? Your marketing, and give me the ideas. And so we kind of partnered up on that, but we were really concerned with this app, which today is called the Layer app, which is, the one that drops layers onto products. Right. And we started doing that for a while, and then this is a long story, but I'm rounding the turn here, and he and I are working on it a little at a time. We got some crazy name for it, and again, Frank Salinas called me up and says, "John, there's this company. They're for sale, and they have an 80,000 list, and it's an old platform, not e-com. I don't want to buy it. Do you want to buy it?" And I said, "Let me look at it." And the first call I made was to Mike Filsaime, and I had known Mike now for, I don't know, 8 years at the time or something. And I call him up, and I remember I was in a Publix parking lot, grocery store parking lot, and I said, "Hey, Mike, what's going on?" It's John. "Hey, John." And I said, "I'm looking at this thing. Will you look at it? Will you give me some ideas, some thoughts?" And Mike said, "Are you asking me to be your partner?" And at the time, I wasn't even thinking about it. And I said, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, let's look at it." And so we looked at it, and Mike hated it. He's just like, "John, I really want to do business with you. I've always wanted to do business with you, but I can't do this. This is awful." And so I'm like, okay. And I was like, I remember being depressed. Like, man, this sucks. It was so close to doing something with Mike.
Yeah.
And then he calls me back. He goes, "You know what? I changed my mind. Let me go see it." So I'm like, okay, this is back on. Then he actually sees the presentation, and he calls me back and says, nah, can't do it. So at that time, something clicked. I go, "Hey, Mike, I have something else you might want to look at. There's an e-commerce platform I've been working on with this guy, Matt Seralta. I think you should take a look at it." He goes, "E-com? Okay, let's see it." So then I call Matt up and I said, "Matt, I got this guy. You don't know Matt knew no one in our industry, and Matt was just like a coder guy and business guy, but didn't know the internet marketing side of it." And said, "There's this guy, Mike Filsaime. He's huge. I know him. He compliments me really well. We compliment each other. I want to show him this platform, but just know you're going to have to give up a huge piece of this thing." And Matt's like, yeah, okay. And we watch it. We watch Matt give a demo of it, and Mike is texting me going, "I love this. I can make this something big with your e-com knowledge and your proof, your proof of doing it, my knowledge of software, and Matt, we can make." So we get off the phone. Mike calls up Matt. We negotiate a deal, and we change the name to GrooveCart. And that spun into all these other, softwares, which now there's, I can't even count. There's 12 different platforms.
Yeah.
We have over, I think we just hit 500,000 users right now.
Yeah.
We were adding at one point 2,000 users a day. It's slowed down a little bit right now, but it's about to kick back up with spring here.
Yeah.
And not only just e-com now, of course, it's page building and email software and webinar software and everything else.
Yeah. I was going to say that, like, do you look at the number? Have you any idea how many people are doing e-commerce on there, or do you not really sort of look at that?
Yeah, I don't. Matt could tell us right now probably, but there's a lot. And what we're doing now with GrooveCart, and the launch will probably come in June, I think it is. It's going to blow everyone away because we're giving it away for free.
Right.
It's going to be free. Just use it for free. And we're not talking about some stripped down version. Like, it will be a full blown, every app you could ever use and pay for on Shopify, free.
Yeah.
And what it's going to be is it's free if you process with Groove payments. And so we'll make like 2% on a sale.
Mm.
And if you don't want to, you want to use your own credit card processing, then then you'll buy the software and you'll get even more things. So it's nice, and you can share your link with your list, and they'll get it for free. And then if they do upgrade, you'll get paid. And so there's a lot of cool things, and it's really, really nice. And the new version is all drag and drop. It's not like Shopify or anything else. It's like our page builder Groove pages, where you just drag and drop components and build out a store, duplicate it, or build out, which is really popular right now, is long, like sales page, more Apple style, Amazon style sales pages. You can create them on the fly. So it's really cool.
Yeah, man, I think that's a great idea, John, because like Shopify, like there's all these platforms, man. Every platform has got pros and cons. Like there's no like perfect one. And I think the problem that people have with Shopify, apart from having to run all the ads and everything, is you get the Shopify store, then you need this app and that app. And before you know it, you're at like $100-$200 a month. Like, and then you've got to actually sell, then you've got to run your ads, then you've got the cost of the products. So I think having it that way, with where you can have the option to just check out with you and pay that percentage there, that will really give people a chance to get out the gate and get going before they get killed by all the overheads before they've even started. Like, so yeah, that sounds awesome, man.
My Shopify bill with apps was between $800 and $900 a month.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you've got to be nailing it to like, and there's a lot of people that just want to try it first to get into it, and they're already out of the game before they've started. Like, so
yeah, it's going to be great. We hope we capture the e-com market.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, I just I wanted to ask you. I mean, I don't know really about talking about now, but are you having third-party people plugging into your platform?
Yeah, absolutely. We're in the process right now with Shine On. We've there's been several others. ShipStation. There's a lot of others ones that not only can just grab our API and do it themselves, but ones that we've built in a lot. And so think of it this way. Think of it as your iPhone. You're going to get your iPhone and you're going to have a calendar, and you're going to have all these different apps that come native to the phone, but none of them are the greatest, because some company can build a better calendar. And that's exactly how GrooveCart, in fact, that's how all our Groove software is working. We'll have native apps built in. There's an exit pop, and there's a wheel, and there's whatever. But anyone else can do it two ways. One, they can plug into our API, but two, we have a marketplace like other companies, like Shopify, let's just say, where you could, Matt, could build an app that is really working cool and put it in our actual app marketplace. And we take a portion of the revenue. Like I think we take 30% and you keep 70%. And then we put it out there to our whole ecosystem. So a couple of different ways. One, us building them. Two, someone just says, I'm just going to grab the API and make it available. And two, they want to make it available and create it in our app store.
Got you. Yeah. Yeah, that's great, because I don't know. Do you know Randy Park he used to be Print Tech?
I don't.
No, where I got a lot of people on my list that use those as a supplier. Like, so I wanted to ask you about that, whether it's.
And what is it called?
He's called Icon Ecom now.
No, you have to tell me after, but we can certainly integrate with anybody.
Yeah, that'd be great, John. Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, so, like, if you were to give anyone any advice on e-commerce, what would your advice be these days? Because I know, like, you're just full of great advice, John.
Yeah, look, the best advice I can give anyone on anything is don't quit. Only quitters lose. I mean, you've got to stay. I know that's easy and sounds very, it's the truth. You got to stick with it. So ecom today, building a tribe, building a fan page, a YouTube channel, something that's very niche specific. I used to never say this. You would never hear me saying this when you came here. I would never have said it, because times are different. You would tell me put up content and everything else. I'd be like, no chance. Yeah, put up a design and go sell it. Now I think it's more about having that social media fan base that wants to see memes and cool videos and jokes. And what do you know? Look at that cool design that fits with those memes and those jokes. Yeah. So if you can come in and find something and stick with that niche and give them content that they really like and they want, they'll buy from you. It makes the sale a lot easier. It's a little bit more of a long version sale. And I would also suggest that if you can find some quick hitters, some small things to keep you energized and some money coming in, 100%. Yeah. I also think that you need to monetize your funnel throughout. And what that means is have an upsell, have a downsell, have a cross sell, have those things. So what does that mean? So if I'm going to do that firefighter shirt, I want to have the firefighter bracelet. I want to have a firefighter watch, and I want to have a firefighter pair of socks. I may not advertise any of those, but I want them there because those add-ons can be the difference between a profitable sale and just a break even. And so many people just think they're going to create one product, put it out there, run some ads. It doesn't sell. This doesn't work. That's not reality. And so it takes some discipline to flush out a full funnel where people can have add-ons. I had one watch that I started out as just an add-on that did so well, that watch, like people always added this watch on, that I ended up saying, let me run some traffic to the watch by itself. And I was selling 300 of those watches a day. Now, I was giving them away. Free watch. Come get it. Just pay shipping and handling, $9.95, right? Yeah. And I was getting the watch delivered to their house for $3. And it was costing me $3 to get someone to add it, to take it. So I was making about $4 a watch, and I was doing 300 watches a day. I was making $1,200 a day on a product that I was giving away.
Yeah.
So, staying in the game, being creative, having your upsells and your downsells, and finding a winner and pushing the winner, it's not rocket science.
Yeah, and creating a community as well.
Creating a community is huge. I'm going to give you one more example about that. My sister, Patty, still does e-commerce right now, and she sells some shirts, some hats, any physical product. She hasn't ran an ad since 2014. Yeah. She's developed such a community of this very specific niche of people that she can go in there and post some comments and put some cartoons and some memes, and they love it, and then show a shirt. And she's not, she might be making $200 or $500 a month. It's just a little side gig for her, but it doesn't cost any advertising anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, the advertising's a killer, isn't it? Like Facebook is a nightmare these days. Like it costs so much now.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one more thing, Matt. And this is for you too. You have a record of every single person that ever bought from you, anything in e-com. I know you do, right? And monetizing that list a second time is a big key to it. I'll tell you what I mean by that. You probably know every single person that ever bought an extra large, double extra large, and 3X shirt from you, right? So taking those people, creating an audience of them, what do you sell them? Well, you sell them weight loss. You don't be afraid to go completely out of the realm of what you were doing because you know who the end user is. You have all these people that bought 3X shirts. Now you start showing up weight loss pills in their email.
Wow,
so
yeah.
Digging deep into your data and finding out what other thing you got to just totally shift and go, okay, let's forget about the shirt for a minute. I know this user, they are overweight. I know this user, they are skinny. They bought extra small shirts and they want to do muscle building. Or finding out that data and then mining it for more. That's what big companies do, and we forget it as smaller marketers sometimes.
Man, that is unbelievable, John. That is so cool, man. Like, yeah, you could be selling dog t-shirts one week. Then you could have a new fan page. You've got all your retargeting lists and everything. Like you say, your email list. You could be selling them dog beds or
that's right. Why aren't
training, info courses, anything, right. Man. That is
so print on demand. People forget that all the time. They say, I'm selling this print on demand to this niche of police officers, and that's the end. Well, why? Why are you not selling something else to that niche that's totally outside the print on demand world? You have that audience already.
Yeah. You could literally be selling like a $1 anything, just something just to get the data. Like,
that's right. That's right. And then use that data and with other things in mind with that data. What do they need? Are they somebody that uses a drone? Are they somebody that uses that cuts their grass and wants whatever?
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally, man. That's a ninja trick, John. Yeah, I knew you'd have one. Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, so. Someone wants to get on GrooveCart and sell a t-shirt, let's take someone who's completely new. How easy is it to get a campaign up and running on GrooveCart?
Pretty easy, because there's a couple of t-shirt companies. You can go in there and see who they are that are already intertwined with Groove, and they would basically be moved to the third-party app to create their shirt, upload a design. I know that you have some designs for people. Upload a design, click done, and there's their shirt. Now, Groove has a very simple system, and it also has an advanced system. So if they want to go to advanced, they could do things like having an upsell, a cross-sell, a bump, and Groove will take you, it'll say 1 through 4, 1 through 5 steps, having you add other things. But I would suggest to someone just starting out to just take one shirt, sell it, go on the process of that before they get really, I wouldn't sell a lot because you want those crossovers. But I've never set up a product the first time and then put in all the bumps, crossovers, upsells, and downsells because I don't know if it's going to work. I don't want to waste all my time. But once I know something's working and the niche is working and I found a home, then I want to have everything in place. But it's not that hard to do. And it's not that hard to do. And one of the other things to do is go to and there's a, you can do this in Groove, you can do this anywhere, but going to AliExpress and typing the niche that you're working on, print on demand, and seeing all the other physical products that come up and using those, putting those physical products in your store just so people find them as a related product, or using them in the upsell, downsell, or using it at the very end saying, add this to your cart and shipping is free. It's a must do when you're doing e-commerce to think like that.
What about like custom domains and like, is there anywhere that is where it's a bit like Teespring where it's all hosted by you and like, can you just whip a page up real quick and run traffic to it?
You could, and it would just be it would be a Groove cart subdomain of your name. In other words, you'd pick a store name and it's Matt's store, and it would be groovecart.mattstore.com/shirt. But also very easily, you can just make it as a custom domain. But there's not like a self-hosted store like we do, like Teespring.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Maybe a good idea.
Yeah. So you said Eric's plugging into you from Shine On. I know a lot of people that are selling Shine On as well.
Yeah, we Eric and I are good friends, and we tried this about 1.5 years ago, and it was our fault. We weren't really ready, and we're in the process right now of integrating with Shine On.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I met Eric before anyone even knew him when he was just starting, like, and he just like he didn't know anyone, man. And over the last, that must be like 5 years ago, like, and he's really he's really
doing well.
Yeah, he's done well.
He's a smart guy, and he's nice too. He's nice and he's smart.
Yeah, his whole model's really changed because it was all custom stuff back then, where you used to have to send a picture of what you wanted, like the shape of a dog, and he'd have some guys drawing it out. Then they would actually make you that piece of jewelry. Like, but he's definitely changed a lot. More print on demandy now, like, because you get the little message cards and stuff like that. But yeah, man, he's done well. Like, I've watched his whole journey, like,
right.
And just in general, like, jewelry seems to be selling a heck of a lot. Like,
well, listen, it's the marketers that drive the product. When you see those pieces of jewelry that say, to my son, you're the best, and I'm worthy, all those heart-wrenching things, people started buying that. They started realizing, they could put these heart-wrenching, basically these, they're all greeting cards on a shirt and greeting card on a piece of jewelry. Greeting cards are one of the greatest things I've ever looked at when I'm trying to do print on demand. Is go to a greeting card, look what it's saying, change it around a little bit. Give you another little hint too, is put on in a Google or Yahoo search, put on funny magnets, and you'll see the greatest ideas for shirts and print on demand. Yeah. And then Pinterest too is a great place to see what people are just saying, wording, not a design, but like just you're looking for these cool words and just heart-wrenching things that are popular on Pinterest. They're going to be popular on a shirt.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, going back to before as well. The first shirt I ever sold was because what you showed me what to do. Do you remember it? I did. I basically completely ripped off the Nike logo where it said Nike and the Nike swoosh. And I cut that out and I put the Dolphins, because I didn't know anything about any NFL teams, but because you supported Dolphins, I slapped the Dolphins logo behind it so that it was showing through the Nike thing, and I sold like 9 t-shirts, and that was the first ever thing. Like, and that was because you showed me, like, and that I think because you were saying about crossing two interests, I couldn't think of anything. My mind was blank because I didn't know anything about it at all, and I was thinking, what can I do? And then I, of course, just took the Nike logo, like, and I remember people were commenting, "Isn't this trademark?" Like, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, and then there's one, when the trademark stuff, people did it. I can't say I didn't, but there was one that I did that I sold a lot. Me and Frank Salinas both did them, and it was not trademarked, so it was great, but it was kind of right. So it was, I might live in Texas, but I'll always be a Fins fan, Fins fan. And you do it in that team's color and target people in Texas that are Dolphins fans, and they couldn't stop you. And you would just knock them out of the park, because how many people live in Texas that like the Dolphins? No, they like the Cowboys. I'm sure you could do that very easily in the UK with people that live in London but support the team that is not in London, that is further away, the soccer team, etc.
Got you, yeah. Well, to be honest, John, I've never sold in the UK.
Really?
I did a few pillows a few years back, real quick, just a quick campaign. But other than that, I've never even tried selling in the UK. It's weird. It's always USA. Yeah. I really should. In fact, I was thinking when we were saying about the community and that, there's a place near here where, like, a real scenic area, and I want to do like a clothing line for that. And my idea was to I've already started building the Facebook group, but what I'm planning on doing is actually every shirt that's sold, some money is going to go back into the area to help rebuild the pathways and, update the place and stuff. So I'm building the community first, then the e-commerce store is going to come, and the e-commerce store is going to be for the people. So when they buy, they're building their community and it's going back in. So I'm hoping that's going to give them a reason to buy, as opposed to me building a community and then go and buy my stuff. It's going to be build the community, and then here's a store where you can get your jackets and hoodies and stuff, and a certain percentage is going to go back into and build the area that you're part of a community. Like, so.
Oh, wow. Well, good for you.
It's never going to be a massive thing, because it hasn't got a huge, there's never going to be that many people that will see it. But I'm hoping that it'll be it's as much a hobby thing, because it's a bit of a passion in myself. So I'm going to try it and see how it works. But like you were saying before, it comes down to building the community around it.
How's the drone business?
Well, I sold the drone. I sold it. The drone, here's what I think with the drone. Yeah, everybody loves a drone picture. You get the drone out. Well, there's a divide. There's some people hate the drone, some people love the drone. So for me, I was coming into the drone thing thinking I'm going to sell prints, basically like print on demand. So I go out and take the pictures and everything. But to actually sell a drone picture, or even a custom drone picture, nobody wants to give you any money. They're like, wow, this is so cool. I love it. Can you take a picture of my house and all this? And it's like, yeah, £60. Oh, no, it's all right. They don't want to know. Like, I found it a real tough sell. Like, so I sold it in the end. Like, I was going to get the Civil Aviation Authority wanted to audit me and stuff. So yeah, I remember, it was great fun. I loved every minute of it. Like, but it was much harder than I anticipated. I
remember the day you said, I'm done. I'm going all in on drone.
Yeah, I know. And at the time I fell into the trap of following my own passion, which I've seen other people do. Instead of selling what people want to buy, I was trying to sell what I enjoyed and what I loved and try and push it on them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's just a trap. And I've seen other people fall into that trap instead, like I say, instead of just selling what people want to buy, like that's the easiest thing to sell, isn't it? What people are already looking for, like.
Yeah.
But it was great fun, and I think I'm going to get another drone because it was so much fun. Like, but you can get small drones now where you don't need to have a license and stuff. So I might just get one just to blast around because it was brilliant. Like, yeah. So I lasted about a year doing that, and then I had to give it in the end. Like, and now I'm back, back to it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. All right, John. Well, do you want to talk about anything else?
No, I mean, unless you do, I'm not sure. I got some. I had some notes over here, but not for this interview. It's funny. I found them on my desk today. They're about ecom too, but I'm like, what the heck? What is ecom and so and so? But listen, the key is to get started. But most people don't ever get started. They just talk about it, and I don't know how, and they make up all the excuses in the world, right? I don't know how, and it'll never work for me. And well, this guy Matt, look, he's got a nice back brick wall and a couch and a camera, and John sitting in front of his desk with a big G behind him, and it's all excuses. Like I wish I could show you that side of my office right now.
Yeah,
because it would shock you, even you, I think, what I have on my wall. Like I have an 8-foot by 4-foot whiteboard over there. And some of the things that are on that board would knock you over. Like 5 million a month in revenue, like personal revenue, 25 million cash in the bank, meet the Pope, see all 7 wonders of the world. Like I have huge goals constantly staring me in the face.
Yeah.
And I don't make excuses. Like I'm going to get those things. You're going to see, I guarantee you this one, you're going to see in the next 3, 4, 5 years, a picture of me kissing the Pope's hand. Like personal need. How audacious is that of me to even say that?
Yeah, probably. Like knowing you probably will, John, because it's like when you were pointing at that mansion when I was with you over there. I've heard people saying stuff like that all the time, but the funny thing is, you actually did it. you were living like that. You were living like that before you got to that. You were already there in your mind, like, do you know what I mean? It already happened for you, like, and then eventually it came about, like,
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, we should do it again, man. Like, we have a chat. Maybe we could actually plan something out, and if we have a good agenda, like, perhaps we'll do another call another time.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, because like with these calls, I don't know how it's going to go. It's brand new for me. I'm hoping to build up my YouTube channel. I wanted it to be a little bit more relaxed as opposed to like, I've got 20 questions here and I'm just going to sit here and run through 20 questions. And, and I don't want them to be like sales pitches or anything like that. I just want interesting stuff for people that are in e-commerce. Like, so, yeah. All right, John. Well, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it a lot.
Okay, Matt. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And sorry that the day had to get to today instead of yesterday. Have a good one, all right?
Yeah, don't worry, John. Yeah. All right, John. I'll catch you later, man.
All right.
All right. Bye, John.
Bye.